Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger. And as y'all can see by the looks of the title and the screen today, I am going to be bringing y'all one of the most rare builds that is actually going to be one of the new meta builds when it comes to NBA 2K22 on next gen. The build is going to be called the two-way mid-range facilitator, and we're going to be able to get over 100 badges on this build. Gonna be around 106. So again, before we get into the making, man, I just gotta say thank God for giving me this opportunity to be able to bring this to y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. If this is your very first time, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody looking to join RGF the Rich Gang family, go ahead and turn on post notifications. But for this build, can we go ahead and get 50 likes to go ahead and get it out to the community? I definitely want to go ahead and show y'all how special this rare build is going to be, especially with the fact that it's honestly going to be a comp build when it comes down to it. So let's go ahead and start off by going by the position. We're going to go ahead and put this build under the small forward. Now, it's no surprise, in my opinion, they gave the small forwards a huge buff this year. Definitely going to be worth it, especially if you are a grinder and looking to make this build and get it to its max full potential. So let's go ahead and get into the making when it comes down to the height, weight, and wingspan. When it comes to the height for this build, we're not going to be very small. We're actually going to be going with 6'9". Then when it comes to the weight, go ahead and put this to 190, and then from here we're going to go ahead and put the wingspan to 7'4". Now, in my opinion, you could go ahead and put the wingspan based off of your own preference, but this way it's going to be much more balanced. And honestly, when it comes down to it, the block is still going to be very high. The rebounding is really good on this build, and then when it comes down to the finishing, shooting, and playmaking, all of these stats are still going to be super solid. So when it comes down to the body shape, honestly, if you want to take up the most space, go ahead and put on build. If not, you can go ahead and even put on define. That's going to be another really good one that I'm going to highly favor. Now, when it comes down to these stats, please be sure to follow along exactly as I am showing y'all. I actually have a build that is very similar to this, and I'm going to be dropping it as well. Another name, but it's going to have over 100 badges as well. So when it comes down to the close shot, go ahead and put this to an 81. Driving layup, that's going to be an 84. And now onto the driving dunk. Go ahead and put this to an 86. You're going to be able to get some contact dunks on this build. Then when it comes down to the standing dunk, put this to 84, and we're going to be able to get 26 badges right here. Now, when it comes down to the shooting, of course, this is a mid-range facilitator, so go ahead and max out that mid-range shot. When it comes down to the three-pointer, go ahead and put this to an 80. All of these stats are subjected to change, so again, if you feel like you're going to be able to make some different moves in certain areas, go ahead and do it. If you want to go ahead and base it off of your own preference. For me, free throw is going to be a 92, so we're actually going to be able to use this build in any game mode. Now, when it comes down to the playmaking, pass accuracy is going to be an 88. Ball handle, 77. And then when it comes down to the speed with ball, this is a 72 for another 24 badges. That's already 75 badges right there. Now let's go ahead and get into the defense. We're going to go ahead and put that perimeter defense to go ahead and put it to an 86. 79 steal. When it comes down to the block, I'm going to go ahead and put it to an 88. And then when it comes down to our offensive as well as defensive rebound, go ahead and put that defensive to an 82. And then from here, look, y'all, already an exact 100 badges, but be sure to follow along because we're going to be able to get in it more depth. So when it comes down to the speed, go ahead and put this to a 78. 76 acceleration, and then when it comes down to the vertical, put this to an 80. And as you can see, we get a very high stamina. And the key thing here, the vertical is actually going to be able to allow us to get all of the contact dunks that are going to be available when it comes down to the 86 driving dunk. As you can see right here, I went ahead and lowered the stamina a little bit, and then go ahead and put the rest of this into your offensive rebound, and we're going to be able to get 26 badges, y'all. So again, it's really just going to come down to how you want to make this build. I know that we said we're going to be able to get 106 badges. That's actually going to be on the other build that I'm going to be dropping for y'all. So if you want that build, go ahead and drop a like. But as you can see right here, definitely going to be a solid build. And then when you consider going ahead and adding into the +4 badges that we're going to be able to get from the college, really going to go ahead and take this build over the top, definitely over 100 exact badges when it comes down to it. And if you want to go ahead and consider the takeover, that is going to be an exact 106 badges on this build, y'all. So again, however you want to make it when it comes down to the adjustments, be sure to just go ahead and base it off of your own liking. For me, let's go ahead and check out these takeovers now. We got the slashing, shot creating, lockdown, and we cannot forget about the glass cleaning. All of these are going to be some really solid options, especially just to go with this build name. So again, the very first one that I'm really going to consider is going to be Pull Up Precision. If you want to go ahead and go with one of the slashing or even double up on the lockdown, you can definitely go ahead and take that route. And honestly, it's not going to be a bad one. With this build, you have so much balance all around. Now, when it comes down to the last one, of course, I want to be able to use the two-way that we are of this build. So I would really recommend Extreme Clamps. That is definitely going to go ahead and make this build so much more better when it comes down to the defense. And as y'all can see, we have made the first ever 100+ badges on a two-way mid-range facilitator build. And when it comes down to it, if you grind this build out, you are really going to be able to see what potential is being held when it comes to this build. Before we get into the actual badge count, let's go ahead and just take a couple things into consideration. You're going to be able to buy boost, which is at least a +4. Run with a teammate that has floor general, that's going to go ahead and be another +4. And then if you run with a teammate that is going to have defensive leader, another +4. So 8 in total when it comes down to the main stats. For the physicals, with that gym rat badge, we're going to be getting a +4. So you really have to think about what these stats are going to be looking like. For example, some of them are going to really shoot up. Mid-range shots going to be in the 90s. Same thing for the exact ball handle. We're actually going to go ahead and be in the 80s. So just by what I'm telling y'all, this build is honestly definitely going to go ahead and turn into one of the best rare made up builds that we have ever seen in all of 2Ks. I'm actually really glad that they gave these kind of builds with rare names a lot of wealth compared to the previous years. If you were to go ahead and make a build that had a rare name in any of the previous 2Ks, you are definitely going to know how much of a risk you were taking when it comes down to the badge count, but also when it comes down to the stats. So let's go ahead and get started when it comes down to the 26 finishing badges we got. I'm going to go ahead and first put on the main ones. First, go ahead and put on Posterizer on silver, Limitless Takeoff on gold, and then Fearless Finisher as well. In my preference, Unstrippable on gold is definitely going to be a badge that you want to use. And then from there also, go ahead and put on Slithery Finisher. Now with these last 6, it's really just going to go ahead and be based off of your playstyle. I'm going to go ahead and put on Lob City Finisher on bronze, just so I could get those animations unlocked. With the last 6, if you want to, you can definitely go ahead and put it into a Hall of Fame category. And what I'm actually going to go ahead and do is put it into Fast Twitch. Now, when it comes down to the shooting, 25 badges to work with, y'all. So the first one, which is going to be the most important, go ahead and put on Hot Zone Hunter. From there, I gotta go ahead and say that Blinders is definitely going to be useful as well as Corner Specialist. If you want to, you can definitely go ahead and skip over Limitless Spot Up, but again, it's just based off of how you play as well as if you're going to be shooting from that deep. From here, I'm going to go with 2 more essential badges, Silver Deadeye as well as Silver Green Machine. And you can even consider Volume Shooter an essential badge, especially if you're trying to raise up your shooting percentages. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on bronze. Now, when it comes down to the very last couple of badges, you can definitely spread the wealth. But like I always say, if you're not comfortable with the badge count that I'm giving y'all, go ahead and base it off of what you feel like is going to work best for you. For me, I'm just going with badges that I see with personal experience, how they work for me, and that is why I go about it how I do. But for this next category, we got 24 playmaking badges. A lot of things that are going to be special about this. So I'm going to go ahead and first put on Silver Handles for Days. Another one that I really like is going to be Quick First Step. Of course, you want to go ahead and put that on Silver as well. Now, Bronze Bullet Passer is going to be an essential badge. If you want to raise it up in tiers, you definitely can do so. But from there, you cannot forget about Gold Triple Threat Juke, unpluckable on silver, and then special delivery on gold just to help out your teammates. One badge that I really feel like is still going to be slept on is going to be bailout on bronze, but from here I'm going to go with silver downhill. Another one that I'm going to pair it up with would either be space creator, needle threader, or even tight handles. Now, you can definitely go ahead and take off some of these badges just to get better category tiers in certain ones. So as you can see, we're left with 3 over. I'm going to go with space creator, but needle threader is going to be a really good badge as well. Now, let's go ahead and get into the final category, which is going to be the defense. We got 26 badges to work with. So the first one I'm going to throw on Intimidator on gold and silver rebound chaser. From there, just to go ahead and help out with those passing lanes, go ahead and put on interceptor on silver as well as gold clamps. Now, Hustler on Hall of Fame is going to be an essential badge, Menace on gold as well, and remember, you can always go ahead and change any of the setup if you feel like you see something better. Now, I really want to go ahead and throw on Rim Protector. You cannot forget about that. I would really recommend going ahead and putting it on gold. Definitely going to be a huge help when it comes to this build, but this is the final setup we're going with: 26 defensive, 24 playmaking, 25 shooting, and then 26 finishing, y'all. Man, again, for those of y'all who made it to the end, just know that I really appreciate y'all. Thank you for your support. Thank God for giving me this opportunity to be able to share this with y'all. And also thank you for having me in your day as well as you in mine. I love y'all. But man, the weekend's coming up very soon. Got double uploads coming, and I got another build with 100 plus badges. So for those of y'all who came through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody looking to join RGF, the Rich Gang family, go ahead and turn on post notifications. But let's go ahead and get 50 likes for this build. Go ahead and just be sure to have a great rest of your day. I love y'all. I thank y'all. God bless y'all. And man, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Thank God and Rich out.